Chapter 1501. A man and a woman at the table, no matter their looks, temperament, and clothes at home, they all looked very luxurious and decent. The man looked a little haggard, and his face and lips had lost his normal blood color. At first sight, he was a chronically ill, or even dying person. But the woman next to him was very well maintained and very beautiful. Her appearance was 7 points similar to Kano's, and she seemed to be in her 30s. Alex recognized the two at a glance. They were Uncle Oren, whom he had known since childhood, and his wife, Unequal. Just when Alex recognized the two of them, the two also recognized him. Oren's whole expression was extremely shocked. His face was already very thin. At this time, his eyes widened, trembling and trying to say something, but he seemed to be in his throat. Aiko, who was on the side, was also dumbfounded. She stood up, pointing at Alex with one finger and covering her mouth with one hand. You are Anderson, are you Alex? Alex's nose was sour, and he sighed softly, and said with a trembling voice, Aiko, I am Alex. After speaking, he looked at Oren, who was trembling and unable to speak, and said in a trembling voice, Uncle, hello. And Aiko, how are you? Oren looked at him and muttered, Are you really Alex? Alex nodded seriously and said, Uncle, it's me, I'm Alex, do you still recognize me? Recognize. Oren wiped away tears and said, You are the same as your father when he was young, and you are similar to the photos of your grandfather when he was young. With that, he stood up laboriously, and then walked towards Alex. Alex hurried forward, came to Oren a few steps to support him, and said with gratitude and guilt, Uncle, for so many years, you and Aunt Aiko have been worried. Oren wiped out a cloud of old tears and choked up, Alex, where have you been for so many years? In these years, I have almost traveled all over the world to find you, and there has been no whereabouts of you. Alex couldn't help but sighed, Uncle, in fact, I have been in Oris Hill these years, and I have been growing up in the orphanage until I was 18. How come? Oren blurted out, I went to Oris Hill to find you several times. I always went to the welfare home, orphanage, and rescue station, but I never found your whereabouts. Alex said, Uncle, Mr. Nolan, the housekeeper of the Anderson family back then, sent someone to take over the orphanage secretly. He was afraid that someone would harm me, so he had all my information. Don't know. I only realized that something was wrong after I met Kano a few days ago, so I went to Nolan and asked about it. Then he told me the hidden information. Oren was stunned for a while, and then he nodded and said, That's how it is. It seems that Nolan is indeed a person who knows his gratitude, and your father treated him like a mountain back then, not a wrong person.